What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode of GH. I really did. I enjoyed the hell out of this Luke memorial. I mean, I expected this memorial to be like over the top, but at the same time, we know Luke is not really dead because if he was really dead, they would have been showing flashbacks. They did not do one flashback, so I was like, he ain't dead. He not dead. Um, because if they was really gonna kill him off, it would have been big. Like it would have been way bigger. They definitely would have found a way to bring Lucky and Ethan in, but they kept coming up with excuses as to why Lucky and Ethan couldn't be there, but they're going to be at the Amsterdam memorial that Tracy's going to throw later. But this episode was everything I needed today. Like this shit made me laugh. This was good. And I got to see my boo. I am so happy they found a way to get Helena in on this. I needed it. Constance Towers look freaking amazing. She is about to be 89 in a few months, and she looks good. She looks good. And it was good to see her and hear her. Like it was just everything. But that video package that she sent them, Helena didn't have to do them like that. Helena did not have to do them like that. She was literally giving them a vocabulary lesson from beyond the grave. When she was describing Luke, what she call him? What she call him? Um, Damn, I'm trying to think. What the hell did she call Luke? A parvenu? Is that what she called him? A parvenu. And the way she said it, she said, "I know y'all don't know what that means." She said parvenu. She had to sound it out for them. I said Helena did not have to do them like that. She was talking to them like they were slow. Like they just had no vocabulary whatsoever. I was like, why they do that? She literally sat there and said, "I know y'all don't know what that word means." Yo. And then she had the nerve to sound the shit out. That's what took me out because she said parvenu. I said, no, no, y'all got to get her off my screen because I'm like laughing my ass off. She did not have to do. She always talked to people like they were unintelligent. Like she always did that to people. She talked to them like they were just bottom of the barrel. Like they just were just stupid people. And she definitely was talking to them like they was like short, yellow, bus slow. That was hilarious. Laura had enough. Laura was like, "Listen, cut this shit off." I was mad that Laura cut it off because I feel like Helena was gonna say something else. She was gonna say a lot more that might be revealing to something. Cause you know how Helena do. She talks in riddles. You know what I'm saying? Normally she'll reveal something in the riddle that they normally wouldn't pay attention to, but it's something behind it. That's how Helena do. But it was good though that we got a glimpse of her and stuff like that. And she pre-recorded the video clearly before she died because she knew that Luke would die after her. Um, but it was good to see that. You know what I'm saying? This memorial was everything. Like all the chaos that was going on, Luke definitely would have approved. It was crazy how Ava had to treat Nicholas and Spencer like two little boys because Nicholas was genuinely trying to be there for his mother and stuff like that. And here goes Spencer being snarky towards him, talking about, "Oh, you're just trying to brown nose so you can win some points." I was like, Spence, this is a memorial. Now is not the time for your petty ass beefs. Leave that shit at the door. Like, come on now. Even Laura had to tell him, like, this is not the time. This is not the place for this. And I'm glad Ava came over because it's sad, like, these are adults and she had to pull them to the side and bring them to a whole separate room just to, like, get them in line. And Spencer had the nerve to try to talk shit about Luke. Talking about, "Oh, please, Luke wasn't nothing but a grifter." And mind you, Ava didn't even know Luke all that well. Like, she knew him enough because, they had their run ins and they dealings and stuff. But, she spoke up for Luke. Yeah, Luke was a complicated person and maybe even a grifter at one point. He was a lot of things. But look at the impact that he had on this show. Look at the impact that his character has had on other characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely left his mark. Even though I don't believe he's dead and at some point he's going to come back. But, he's a huge part of a staple of the show. You know what I mean? And for Spencer to even say that, I was like, I never understood why people come to a funeral of somebody they don't like. I never understood that because Scott tried it too. He was mad because Robert got an invitation to the funeral, but he didn't. I'm like, why would Tracy or anybody invite you to a memorial of somebody that you hate? Like, and he made it abundantly clear he hate Luke. Like, Scott has been bitter towards Luke for over 40 years. Very bitter. Ever since he took Laura from him, or Laura left with Luke or whatever, he became bitter after that. And he hated Luke ever since. Um and it's like he's never gonna bury the hatchet with Luke. Ever. That's just how bitter Betty's be. And it was so funny because when Tracy started spreading Luke's ashes over the pier or whatever, over the boat, um, Scott was talking junk about Luke, calling him a son of a bitch, and just spouting all type of venom about him or whatever. He's still bitter because he talking about, oh, you took everything away from me, and it was so funny because Luke's ashes smacked Scott in the face. I said, Luke, even in death, he had to get the last word on Scott. That was hilarious. And Bobby had came out there. He was like, "Yeah, I just caught the bouquet." That was hilarious. That was funny. I love how they played on that because that would be typical Luke fashion. Um, and I love that Alexis and Tracy cleared the air. I'm glad Alexis dropped the charges against her because I could not picture Tracy in jail, in prison at this particular age. Being 70 something years old and her sitting in prison and stuff. I couldn't picture it. So I'm glad that they buried the hatchet because she realized like it would do nobody no good to have Tracy sitting up in prison. And they've all made mistakes, and she was like, everybody deserves chances. um I agree with that. The biggest shocker to me though was what happened at the bar at Charlie's. That was hilarious. Like Sonny's still going on and on about Carly and Nina. I'm like, listen, I ain't even about to indulge in that conversation today, because Carly was talking about that with Bobby too, and I was like, are we really gonna waste this good memorial episode talking about Nina and Sonny and Carly and their triangle? That's why I glossed over that, because I was like, I ain't even gonna talk about that today. But we don't talked about that enough. Like we could save that for another time, because they ain't doing nothing but rehashing what we all already heard. So um of course, when Scott and Robert come in, the look on Sonny's face when he was looking at Scott, the smirk on his face, like Sonny looked like he was possessed by the devil when he was looking at Scott. The way he was just glaring at him, you would have thought that wasn't Sonny looking at him, like that was the devil. And of course, Scott could not resist walking up to Sonny and getting in his face, talking about, "Oh, I hate you more than I can't decide on who I hate more, you or Luke." Um, their back and forth was hilarious. Scott was sitting there talking his trash. Sonny was talking his. It got to the point where Sonny took his jacket off. Sonny was rolling up his sleeves. Sonny was ready to go because Scott kept poking the bear. Literally, he just kept doing like this to Sonny, like poking him, and Sonny kept telling him, "Yo, stop poking me." And Scott sitting there, "What you gonna do?" I said, "Oh Lord, have mercy. Here we go." And as soon as he kept telling Sonny, "What you gonna do?" I said, "Oh, you about to find out what he about to do." And they started rolling up their sleeves, and here come Victor. I said, "Lord have mercy. We got geriatric." Victor started running his mouth, um, talking about a mobster and an ambulance chaser. Y'all gonna stop playing Scott. That man ain't no ambulance chaser. Hell, he got Victor out of his mess, didn't he? Like the way Victor came in there talking shit, and Sonny had enough. Sonny was like, listen. And I was shocked. Because Sonny was like, listen, Scott, you don't like me, I don't like you, but we hate him more. And Scott was with it. Scott said, listen, as much as I hate your ass, I hate him even more. Let's whoop his ass. Robert was him and Phyllis was trying to diffuse the situation and stuff like that. I said, look at these geriatrics over here fighting. Like they shooting a Depends commercial. I said, look at y'all old ass throwing punches. Sonny over there punching Victor bodyguard. Sonny knocked the hell out of him. Sonny said, bow. All I see is fists flying, blood on the mouth. I said, look at this shit. Look at this. Y'all going ham. They over here fighting and shit like this WWF. I said, y'all better calm y'all old ass down for y'all pull a muscle. Or you just, I was like, go sit down. Go sit down. Just, go sit down somewhere. Over here fighting, tearing up the place. And Phyllis sitting there talking about who's going to pay for the damages. Phyllis, why you ask that stupid question? I said, the owner of the bar is sitting right there. He got money. Shit, you dealing with a bunch of rich folk. They got money. And it was so funny because Sonny was like, Phyllis, I own the place. He said, I'll cover the cost. And then Scott was like, I'll pay the cost. Victor was like, how the hell you gonna pay the cost when your ass tight with money? He was like, you tighter than the octopus with money. That is true, because Scott is cheap as shit. I ain't even gonna lie, that man cheap. He'd sit there and put canola oil in his car just for gas. That man is cheap. But that was hilarious. But then, Robert had to remind them, like, yo, we got a memorial to go to for Luke. And, even Phyllis was telling them, they was like, y'all up here fighting. Y'all supposed to be going to a memorial to celebrate a man's life. And y'all over here cutting up. And Robert had to remind Sonny, he was like, you can't keep Carly waiting. He said, yeah, that's right. I got to go. And he was ready to go back in there when he saw Victor laughing and stuff like that. He was ready to go back in there and put some more paws on him, and Robert had to stop him. He was like, chill out. He said, do I got to remind you I'm the DA? But Sonny ain't care, please. He got Diane on speed dial. So Victor ass sitting there, having his drink. He gave Phyllis some money or whatever to cover the damages and the drink and all that. And, he was toasting to Luke. And he made mention that the people of Port Charles ain't gonna know what hit him or whatever. Like, he got a big surprise for them. What is this man planning? Because he keeps trying to rally his family together, and now he's talking about somebody coming to Port Charles and there's a big surprise. I'm like, what is you doing? Like, what you got coming up? That's what worries me. Like, what you got going on, son? So Tracy had a gift that she wanted to give to Laura or whatever. Laura knew what it was. She was like, if it's that damn ice princess, she said, I don't want that. Laura said, Laura said, nope, I don't want that voodoo witchcraft. Because Spencer's sitting there, I want to see it. I want to see it. I always want to see it. Spencer, go sit down somewhere. You don't need to see nothing. Just go sit. Stay in the child's place. Go sit down. You done caused enough problems. Go sit down. Because she basically told Tracy to throw the damn thing away. And Tracy was like, nah, I ain't going to throw this away. She was like, I'm going to keep this. She was like, I am not throwing this away. I actually enjoyed that little speech that Tracy gave at the memorial about Luke, like about all his faults and stuff, and also about like the type of his generosity and how caring he was. I like that speech. I felt like it was fitting. It was a very fitting speech. And I'm glad at least Curtis could be there for Laura and stuff, because she didn't have Kevin there because he was busy, so she couldn't have him there. And, it was hard for Laura because, Luke was a big part of her life, and it's hard for her to say goodbye. Even though it ain't really a goodbye, it's more of I'll see you later, because we're definitely going to see him later. He going to pop up somewhere. And then, of course, it was so funny watching Robert tell Felicia and Anna about the fight at Charlie's. They were shocked. They was like, damn, Scott and Sonny worked together? They said, damn, they must have hated Victor more than each other. Yeah, you know what they say, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. They said, no, we gonna put that shit to the side for the day, but we gonna whoop his ass right now. I wasn't mad at it. Of course, Sonny had to warn Laura about that little threat that Cyrus was talking about. But he was like, we ain't gonna talk about it today. We gonna talk about it later. And I love the scene with Bobby and Carly. It was a touching scene where Carly was talking about how Luke always called her Caroline and stuff like that. And Bobby feels lost without Luke right now. Because, she always had her brother to be there for her. Whenever she needed something, she could always count on him or whatever. Now, she doesn't have him. So she's trying to figure out what life is going to look like without Luke for her, And it's messed up. Lucas couldn't be there, but he had to work. So anyway, moving on from that. I love the little kiss that Laura blew Luke's portrait. And she called him her love. I love that. Because, that's a big nod to history. Because, they've been together for a long time. They were married a long time. But what I was shocked at was who came up in there. All decked out in this black veil. I said, at first I'm looking, I'm like, who the hell is this? I'm thinking it's Sky or somebody coming up in there acting a fool. It was fucking Jennifer Smith. I said, oh, hell to the no. Laura slapped that hoe. Soon as I seen Jennifer, I said, nope, slap her ass, Laura, slap her. She coming up in there to act a fool. Slap her. We all know Jennifer coming back for some mess. And with Jennifer being back, Sonny better worry. Because we all know Jennifer might be back to pick up the pieces of, Frank Smith's territory or whatever. You never know. She might try to pick up where Frank left off all them years ago. You know what I mean? So she could be the threat that Cyrus was talking about. Her or Marshall, you never really know. So with Jennifer being back, they better be cautious. Cause I said, nope, slap her ass, Laura, slap her. They ain't nothing but the devil, slap her. But I love having Jennifer back though, cause she about to raise some hell up in that town. But anyway, this was a damn good episode. I enjoyed this. I really did. I had a good time with this episode. This was hilarious. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all all thought, and I will see you all Monday. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Hope you have a great weekend. I will see you all later. Peace.